There we go. Looks like we are live. And now I get a call. No, I can't deal with that right now. Waiting to hear back from my local fish store for something I ordered for the UV sterilizer for my tank. And I'm like, did you need me to pay before you ordered it? Did you already? I don't know. So I'm waiting to hear back. And yeah, I don't know if that's what that call just was. Hold on. Let's see. Where did that call even come from? You came from... Nope, LA. Definitely not them. We will just go ahead and block that number now. It has been a day. I saw, who was it? The first post on there was waiting for chats. Oh, that's being blocked by something, but waiting for to talk on the frogs and dogs and fish and rants. I've got a rant for you today. Let's see. Do I have everything going? I think we're good. Is audio? Okay, good. Nick says that audio and everything is good. The boys, the hounds are laying down, so let's get to work. Let me pull up my pencils, and then I'll tell you about today's adventures. Actually, I kind of want to pull up to my camera on the fish tank. I'm waiting to see if the tail spot blenny comes out. We'll come back to, I have so many stories today. Oh, the device is offline. That will, well, at least it'll keep me from looking at, why would the device be, there it goes. I don't even know if it's light enough in there right now, if I would be able to see. Yeah, it is. Hold on, let me just adjust this. My frogs are super loud today. Oh, there's the Royal Gromma's out. So, starting today off, I get my order. So I have to feed my dart frogs. That's what you hear in the background. They get, yeah, here's the frogs. They're loud today. So they eat fruit flies. It's wingless fruit flies. And I've got a couple of different options on how I can provide those for them. One is to go from a culture and make my own. And the thing I don't love about making my own, it's not a big deal. I have all the stuff here to do it. Once a week, you make a new culture. It takes 5 minutes. It is no big deal. But what happens is they will get, he says, I'm awake, Friday rant, I'm awake now. So the fruit flies get a type of mite. So you've got about a month. You're battling the life cycle of the mite versus the life cycle and usability of the fruit flies. Once a fruit fly culture hits 1 month, you better throw that out because those mites are going to take over and they'll infect your other cultures. And inevitably, they kind of always end up spreading. So we have different DE earth that I use, or I think the E is the earth. I'm saying that wrong. So that would be like DEE. DE, it's a bug killer that's like super natural, super safe. It's not like your normal pesticide. So I can put the fruit flies on that. I've got a few options. It's just kind of a pain in the butt to manage that. So what I've been doing, there's a website, and I don't want to I'm not trying to bash him, so I'm not even going to say which one it is that I get it from. It's not one I've ever talked about, I don't think, so no big deal. But I get fruit flies from this guy. He has his own business. He sells frogs, he sells plants, he sells everything. And he's actually really, really nice guy. And his big thing, when people complained about Josh's frogs, which is like where I get a lot of my other stuff, he's like, I won't do you wrong. Buy from me. I'll make sure things are right. And so I've been buying from him, and I've had good results. His plants are a little on the high end price-wise, but you know what? He's got a good selection. Okay, fine. So once a month, I get 4 new cultures of fruit flies, and it ends up being about $40, and like half of that is shipping. So, okay, fine, but it's still, when you factor in the cost of me making them myself, is it really, is it worth it? Yes, that has been worth it. So I get my culture today, and everything's dead. 4 things, there's none of the larvae, none of the adults, nothing is alive. So I contact him. I've had this happen once before where 2 of the cultures, nothing made it. And so I contacted him, and he said, he just sent out a new batch last time, no big deal. He said, yeah, I have on the website, I can't do live arrival guarantee because of the heat. Something about all of them are dying. Then why are you sending them? I'm on an automatic shipment thing. And he's like, well, it's updated on the website. And he's a really nice guy. So keep that in mind. I'm not like mad. I'm just kind of like, this just seems weird to me. So like, I feel like I'm paying for his mistake. So I said, I'm like, I wish I would have known that he'll do live arrival guarantee if you next day ship it. But next day shipping, you're going from $20 shipping up to $60. It's like 57 something. But I told him, I'm like, I wish I would have known that, because he's like, well, I updated it on the website. I don't have a reason to go to the website. That's why I'm on automatic shipment. Like, why would I have gone to the website and seen that? So I said, you know, why I wish you would have sent out an email letting people know, because I would have paid, hands down, would have paid for next day. I'm out $20. He refunded me the dead fruit flies, but not the shipping. I don't think I should have to pay for anything for a mistake, because he's like, well, or what? Yeah, I don't have a good way to email everybody. Then this isn't on us. This is on you. You're shipping, like, you had the time to ship the box that you said you knew would not live, because he said they're all dying in transit right now because of the heat. Then why aren't you just contacting people and being like, hey, did you really want me to send this right now? Like, I had no way to know this was an issue. And you would think, because I'm like, well, you're trying to think, should I just blame myself on this one? Because then I'm not irritated. I'm like, you know, maybe I should have known because it's hot that it would be an issue. No, because you know what? I'm not the shipper. I don't know if things make it. I've been surprised by some of the stuff that did make it when I ordered, when I had stuff shipped in the heat. And so I'm figuring, okay, he knows what he's doing. It's his business. And he has live arrival guarantee, last I checked on his website. So it was changed without any notice to those who are on subscription service. So I had to just place another order to get them and pay $57 to next day. So, I mean, I'm really only out 20 something dollars. It's like 23, 24 or something like that. I'm out about 20 bucks. But still, it's annoying because I wouldn't have even, so, well, no, really I'm out more, because if I would have known this was an issue last month when I got my last culture, or the, you know, I could have done this a couple weeks ago, I could have started breeding them on my own here. I would have, you know, I talked about why it's kind of annoying to do it on my own, but I have the stuff, I can do it. But I didn't know I needed to, because he didn't notify people, anyone, because he said his system is not set up in a way that he can't mass email anybody. I don't understand how you've got a list and you can't, if it's not set up that way, then you shouldn't be doing, like, this is bizarre to me, and I don't understand why I'm the one eating the cost on this, because I would not have ordered anything had I known. I would have prepared my own culture last week or last month. So it was just, I'm a little bit annoyed, and I don't know, maybe I'm being just, I know, like, I could push it with PayPal and get a full refund on everything, because he's selling a product live. It's supposed to arrive live. It didn't arrive live. I'm not paying for it. So, and he refunded me on the culture, but, or, you know, it was like $23 for the fruit flies. And he's a really nice guy. And I'm sorry that his, you know, he's having troubles. He's saying he's so busy with everything, and that, I get it. But it's like, I don't know why I'm the one eating the cost on his mistake, on his inability to email people and let them know. And so I'm just like, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of annoying to me. Well, yeah, that's it. It is just diet to, I can't say it, Nick. Diet, it's like quadonkadonk all over. It's dodonkadonk earth, we'll call it that. So yeah, I'm just a bit annoyed with the whole, like, why am so I'm out the 57. I would not pay $57 next day. It didn't cost me that much to ship my fish overnight. So it's got, like, his is on the high end anyway, shipping wise. I wouldn't have done it if I would have known, but he didn't let people know. And then he's shipping stuff that he says he knows is not going to live. Why wouldn't, I don't understand. Let people know, hey, I'm going to have to cancel it, because right now in the summer, I'm not able to get these to you live unless you want to pay next day shipping, which is, like I said, 57 something dollars, 57 some, yeah, some change. I'm just like, that is bad customer. And he's super nice. So it's like, on the one side, customer service is good, but on the other side, like, it shouldn't have happened. This is 100% his fault, and I don't think I should have to eat any of the cost for this. So yeah, that's my annoying story. Like, I put my auto ship on hold. I'll probably just need to cancel it altogether and just order when I need it, so I can see on his website if there's updates, because he's apparently, like, you would think as being on an auto ship, you would have a bit of priority on, like, your guaranteed income for him. So you would think that would give you a bit of a priority as far as who he contacts in customer service and stuff. So I'm like, really? This is just, and then I'm low on, well, I'll be okay, but it's like I'm running low on fruit flies because I was supposed to have an order here today, and now I don't. So, I mean, this is a producing batch, so it wouldn't be ready for a couple of weeks, but now I'm going to be a week behind on that. And that's a bit concerning. So I had to order extra. I had to spend an extra $30 to get more that'll be ready right now. I'm just annoyed. I'm like, this is just, it was such a simple thing that didn't need to happen. And then I would think he would take it as like, oh, learning experience, I'll eat the cost because it's my business. Especially when he has kind of been like, I don't want to say talking crap about Josh's frogs, but kind of where he's like, oh, I wouldn't do you wrong like that. Because you did. Like, I don't know. That's annoying to me. Anyway, let's see. George said, I'm on time today probably because I decided not to go outside today as it's too hot and humid. Yeah, apparently it killed fruit flies and their larvae. Lorax said, tips on for young artists like me because I get disappointed when I want to paint like you. I'm overthinking and wanted to accomplish my goals in a short period of time. Should I change? Yeah, you have... Everything you accomplish, everything you create is one step closer to that end goal of painting how... let's say in my case, you wanted to paint like me. That takes time. My original, I need to post over on MeWe. I haven't posted in a while. I have a really good one where I did an angel and I was trying to make her look super realistic. It looks more Tim Burton-ish, like too, it's funny. Like that versus something 10, 15 years later. It takes time. It is a very long period. And it's kind of funny because you have people... A lot of people don't realize that. They think you're just born good or you're not good. You have it or you don't, which is not how art works at all. You put the work into it or you don't. That's what determines if you're going to be good. But you have a lot of people when they buy something, and we've talked about this before when it comes to pricing art, and people will ask, oh, how long does that take? Don't answer them. You can let them know like, oh, it'll take me 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, whatever to get your commission done. If they ordered something, that's different. But like the actual hours spent, no. Because what they do is people try to figure out how much time you spent on a piece and calculate, oh, you made this much per hour. That's insane. You shouldn't be charging that much. They don't realize you spent 10, 15 years perfecting your art. It takes time. It is not an overnight. It's like, you're not paying me for 5 hours of work. You're paying me for a lifetime of experience to learn how to do that in 5 hours. Like, it's a whole thing. So no, you have to understand that it's going to be time consuming. Do little baby steps. Do studies. If you're, one of the problems that I think, or I'd say, I don't know, say problem, mistake, whatever, that people make is this is what I did when I was younger. I wanted to do an entire scene. So I would do like, there was one I had, it was a 24 by 36 inch canvas. So decent, but I had a full scene where I had underwater and above water. Above water, I had a tiger and her cubs. I had a bird flying. I had one that had a unicorn in the background, and then mermaids, and in the foreground I had fish and all. I mean, it was everything. Trying to fit like that was never. Even if I did it today, it's not going to look realistic. Well, it would more so because lighting. I have a better understanding of that, but it was too much in too small of a space. But I expected it to look super realistic, and I think that's something that a lot of people do when they're newer to art. Instead, draw a study. Like, let's say, you're just having a hard time drawing fur. Pick the animal you're going to study. Let's say it's a tiger. Draw just the ear. Draw just the eye and the fur around the eye. Draw just the mouth and the nose. Like, start breaking up little studies and really working on that instead of trying to do the entire tiger along with the unicorn and whatever other random stuff that my brain thought I needed to include. So that should help. Let's see. Lorax said, I realize you've been drawing your entire life and I'm just being unrealistic here. Exactly. It's time. It takes time. Sheila said, I'm sitting outside and just heard Lisa's frogs singing. For an instant I thought, do we have frogs? That I realized. Yeah, they are like crazy loud today. I'm not sure why they're extra talkative. They got a big meal yesterday. I don't know if they're like all excited. Well, when they call like that, they're trying to get the girls' attention. And so it's possible if they're like, oh, we have excess food in the tank rack, because I overfed them. I have always wondered, I'm kind of like watching to see if that's a thing. If when I give them excess food, do they try to attract the female more? Like, hey, things are in abundance here. We should make babies. So I don't know if that's all it is or what. So on to my next rant. It's not really a rant. I don't know. I think I need some motivational advice from people. So I have my fish tank and I'm dealing with flukes. The new fish I got came in with flukes, so I'm trading for that. And then on top of that, I think the flukes, I don't know if it stressed out the clowns. I don't know what happened. It looks like I've got ick. And the firefish, I've only seen it on a couple. It's not like a huge outbreak, but it could turn into that. So I've been treating or dosing the tank with peroxide, hydrogen peroxide. And some people have had really good results with that. So I'm gonna give that a try versus pulling them all and trading them in copper, because I can't catch them all. There's too much rock work, and this seemed like a good option. But the tail spot blenny is not in his normal hole today. And I'm like, did he just choose a new house? So I'm watching on the camera right now. Like, did he just choose a new house, or the lights are still off, but ambient room light I can kind of see in there. So I'm like, I hope he didn't die. It looked like he was kind of breathing heavy last night, but I'm also, I think, being a bit of a hypochondriac when it comes to the fish at this point. Because as soon as I start noticing one thing off, and things can go downhill so quick with fish. So I'm being super paranoid. The Royal Grama and the Royal Grama's out. My clownfish are out. My cleaner shrimp is out. But everybody else is still asleep. Oh, both the clown gobies are out. I have not, the firefish normally wouldn't be awake yet. They wake up a little bit later once the lights have been on, and then, so that's not unusual, but within an hour I should see them max. But it's weird that I don't know where that tail spot blenny is. Like, you better not have died. Oh, my camera just froze, so I can't see anyway. Sarah said, 1 hour mistakes save a lot of time. Making studies is super important. It really is. That's one thing, like going back, if I could get myself to do something a bit differently. All the mistakes I made were good, because that all leads up to, you learn from those mistakes. So the mistakes are not what's bad, but I would have done more studies. Like, really, I think that I could have gotten better faster had I done those. And even like when you get to where you start doing animals, focus on just the head. Don't try to do the full body all at once. That's a lot. So you can break that up and make it a bit easier. We just have some final detail on the turtle. There's not a lot left to do on him. And then we get to start I think the octopus is what we're going to do today. He's completely missing a nostril. Yeah, that camera does not want to stay connected. Hopefully I'm not having problems with the live stream. Let's see. Let's come. Hi, Zara. I don't have all my pencils out yet. So yeah, right before the live stream, I was dealing with trying to get, the fruit fly thing. The fruit flies, well, I ended up ordering 2 cultures at like 12 bucks a piece, $12, $14 a piece of isopods. Those are essentially roly-polies for the vivariums. I wanted more powder orange. I have them in one of my tanks. I really wanted them in one of the others. So they finally had that. So I was pretty excited about that. That is in, they have not been in stock for a year. I've been waiting for these. So I got those, and I got some koi. It's like a koi. It's white and red. I'm going to put in the vivarium, the bio-orb over there, the red one. So I did get some isopods I'd been waiting for. So, it wasn't all bad. There's definite positive there. And it's not like I'm mad enough that I wouldn't order from this person before. I think that overall his customer service is great, and he works to get that done. But I think he's kind of a newer business and doesn't realize, like, dude, this was your, and he apologized, but it's like, this was your mistake. This didn't have to happen. Either if I would have known before, I would have made my own fruit fly cultures, but that's on me. I could have done that anyway, but I would have upgraded and saved 20 bucks, saved him the cost of the fruit fly, so he's out the 20 in that. I would have saved the 20 in shipping. Like, it's just, I hope he learns from that and changes that, because, yeah. Let's see. Paul said, for me, ears and hands seem to be where my skill is weak. Hands are definitely, feet are weirdly shaped. They are just weird to make look good. They are definitely, like, paws are one thing, but people feet, they're ugly at the best of times. So that one's always been a hard one for me to make look good. I like that. Zara said, I now look at mistakes as strictly feedback. That is a good way to look at it. Hi, Taylor. Let's see. Julie said, hi, Lisa. Recently did the horse and charcoal lesson, but struggled to get rid of the texture of the cans and Me10s, even with lots of layers. What did I do wrong? So one could be just the amount of blending and layering and using, do I have one over here? I use these shading, give me here. shading tools like these. So these blending stumps, that can certainly help, which I'm assuming you used. The Inktense MeTens has texture. Like, I'm okay with that. I actually kind of like the look of the texture. I leave mine showing intentionally, but if yours is showing more than mine, I'm trying to think. You can use a soft tool, these guys that I use for, well, I use on powder blender or for pan pastels. You can use these guys and that might blend out a little bit better for you too. The other thing is which charcoal type you're using. If you're using a softer lead, that's going to blend out softer than if you're using a hard lead. So look at your pencil. Does it say soft, hard, medium? The softer one's going to blend out smoother and it makes it easier to get rid of the tooth of the paper. Karina said, good morning, it's 2:30 a.m. here. Wow, this picture is looking fantastic. Thank you. I'm going to make coffee and wake up at 2:30 in the morning. Oh my gosh. Binga said, don't learn from my mistakes. I keep doing those same mistakes over and over again. You know, it's funny that you bring that up. That's one of the reasons that I often encourage people when you're learning to draw to trace, because what I see happen a lot when people freehand, they're like, okay, I'm going to draw a sea turtle, and they draw it. Sorry, my nose suddenly like insanely itchy. But they'll be like, okay, I'm going to draw the sea turtle, and they'll make specific mistakes. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to draw it again and do better, and they make the same mistakes. Okay, I'm going to draw it again and do better, and they just keep doing the same mistakes over and over again. If they had traced it a few times, when they then go back and freehand it, they're not usually going to be making the same mistakes. It forces you to notice what's going wrong, which is a really cool thing. Sarah said, my main problem with hands is that it looks right or it looks totally wrong. Nothing in between. So much with hands too. Keep in mind the reference photo that you use. If you draw a hand like this, it's going to look bad no matter what. I don't care how good you are. That's going to look, it's not a flattering position. Like, try to find hands that are in like different angles that will look nicer, will make a difference too. So it may be that, I wonder if it's the reference photo at all. Paul said, differentiate inspiration versus dedication. Oh, you always get these really good, like deep things to talk about. So inspiration is the thing people wait around for to happen, thinking that they need to be inspired in order to accomplish things. Dedication is the thing that makes you actually accomplish the things. So what happens, like especially I see it with art all the time, but it can be anything, any aspect of your life. Like, I'm waiting to be inspired to go to the gym so I can go work out. That will never happen. I will never be inspired to go to the gym. I might watch one workout video and be like, hey, I'm going to go work out. I want to be like that person. It's rare, and it's not going to happen consistently enough. That feeling of inspiration will not happen consistently enough that you're going to do it regularly. So instead, you want the dedication. You're just going to put in the work. It doesn't matter if I'm in the mood to work or draw that day. Like last night, I really wasn't in the mood to work on my orangutan. I don't know if you can, you can kind of, yeah, you can't really see he's sitting against the thing over there. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not in the mood to work tonight, so I'm not really going to work because I'm stressing out about my fish. But I'm like, I'm going to instead focus on, let's just get some base colors. These are things, I call it monkey work because it's like, anyone can glaze it. It takes no skill, no talent. I don't have to think about what I'm doing. Like, oh, do I need to make, I don't have to worry about what choices I make. It's just slop some color on there. Just get some of the work done. Dedication is what will make you successful. Inspiration is what keeps you on the couch waiting for inspiration. Inspiration's useless. Mostly useless. It has like 1% of value, I would say. I don't know. I'm making that number up. I'm bad at math, so never take my percentages seriously. But inspiration won't get you very far. What you want is dedication and determination. What do they say? What is the difference? I forget how the quote goes, but what is the difference between, like, what's the difference in, or what type of person is going to be successful? What is the like defining attribute of that person? Some people have suggested, how their parents raised them. Some people will suggest their IQ. Some people will suggest, and you have all of these different things, like the financial welfare, I guess, of the family, like how many opportunities they had due to finances. None of that was true. The thing that will make a difference of someone being successful in life is perseverance. God, I can't say that word either, is working through. When you fail, you keep pushing through. When things don't go right, you keep pushing through. Nothing makes you stop. That's the person who is going to be successful. It's not the person who's the most skilled. That actually has very little to do with it, especially with art. We've all seen crap art where we're like, well, actually, mine's kind of at that stage right now. Stop judging me. We're getting there. But we've all seen art where you're like, did they draw that with their feet? blindfolded, and yet they're making tons and tons of money off of it because of the perseverance. Like that's something I respect it when someone manages to do that. But it's not even skill level. It's, did they market themselves right? Did they push? Did they keep pushing and fighting and getting their stuff in front of the right people? That is what's going to make the difference between, and it goes back to inspiration versus dedication. Inspiration, I don't know, it's almost like that magic fairy dust where people are like, the moon has to be in the right place and I have to be in the right mood and everything has to be perfect for me to want to draw or to do well. I mean, there are times, I will say, when I'm not feeling well or whatever, you guys know I have all my health problems. If I'm not feeling well and I'm just like, I'm just not doing a good job tonight, I'm not making good choices. Okay, fine. Work on what I call the monkey work, the busy work, the just detail for the sake of detail. And like, there's something, you have to work either way. Just find something that you can do with whatever like place you're in mentally. If you're not, like, there are times like right now I'm constantly like, oh my God, are all my fish gonna die? Like, why did I get back into reef keeping? Why am I doing this to myself? And I hit those points and I'm like just distracted and I don't want to do art. So go do anything. Go do something where I don't have to think hard, but still do it. You still have to do it. Let's see. Julie said I have soft and medium charcoal. I do have soft tools, but I didn't try that. I'll give it a go. Yeah, hopefully that'll work for you. Yeah, passion for what you're doing helps a lot, but it's not always required to be successful and to do it. Again, let's say violin. I'm a good example of this because I have not been practicing. I bought all the stuff. I bought myself a new amp. I was going to practice all the time and I just didn't. Everything gets in the way constantly. There's always something. I can be inspired. I can be motivated all I want. I can be passionate about violin. I mean, I get so excited when I hear someone playing. It's not making me do the work. Like, those things aren't what's going to do the work. The thing that's going to do the work is me making the decision to get off my butt. Well, I'm not really ever. I'm on my butt in front of the easel or the computer. I'm always working. But me to figure out time to fit that in. I've got to schedule that in somehow. Like, I have to make a change. It doesn't matter how passionate I am if I'm not making the changes necessary to do the work there we go. Let's see. Can I make a live video on Instagram, please? I don't use Instagram really anymore. Screw them, screw Facebook. No one's going to see it. If I post on either of those platforms, no one will see it. So I really don't. I post on MeWe. MeWe doesn't have a live option yet, so live is here. I've been uploading stuff on Rumble just to have more stuff like in a variety of locations, but mostly here, and MeWe is where you're going to find my stuff. So I let you know on Facebook when I've had stuff, but if you've looked at my Instagram, you see I don't post anymore. Why would I? No one sees it when I do. And they're on my Facebook. They delete people. Like, they deleted, if you're unaware, they deleted my account a few months ago or deactivated it because they have a crap algorithm. I didn't violate any terms. A lot of people were like, oh, you must have said something political. I stay out. There's nothing political on anything to do with my Facebook, with my Instagram, with anything. It's a business point of mine. I do not post any of my political views online. So that is, it had nothing to do with that. Had to do with a bad algorithm. Well, I've complained about Facebook for years. Let's get some highlights in here. I've complained about Facebook for years and years and years because you used to, when you had a business page, they told us, build your business on our platform. And we all did. And then they were like, oh, well, we're going to introduce ads now. So in order for somebody, if you want more people to see it, you can pay for an advertisement. So only 50% of the people or so are going to see, that chose to follow you will see your content. And everyone's all mad. Then they dropped it like 27%. I forget the actual percentages because remember the whole I'm bad at math thing. But they dropped it to like 27%. Everyone was furious. Oh my gosh, only 20% or 27% are going to see it. And then they kept lowering it a little bit. They are down to 3%. I have over 33,000 followers on Facebook. Another 30-something thousand on Instagram. No one sees it. There's no benefit to me taking the time to post there. If I post on MeWe, everyone sees it. And MeWe doesn't have those harsh, like, fish keepers. Like, there's a girl I know, she sells betas online. Facebook, because PETA bought into Facebook enough, they run enough of Facebook, they're like, nope, no animal sales. So people get their accounts banned for that. Now that's, again, had nothing to do with mine because I don't sell anything. But yeah, it was really, and I got my account back, but it was a good wake up call. Like, why am I investing? Why am I promoting this platform. Why am I still wasting my time on this? I should spend the time building on MeWe, building on a platform. There is no algorithm on MeWe, which is really cool too, because, and I've talked about this a million times, so I'm trying to keep it kind of short, but with Facebook, with Instagram, the way the algorithm works, and YouTube too, the way the algorithm works, the more comments you get, the more reaction you get from people, the more they show it to people. They keep bumping it on the news feed. The problem is, what gets the most reaction? Anything negative. Why do you think everything in the news that you see posted on Facebook does well, that you're constantly seeing negative, negative, negative? That's what gets shared. That's what gets comments. That's what gets people riled up. I can come back on, because I don't log into Facebook that often, 5 days later, and the same post is being pushed because so many people are arguing on it. It pushes this negativity that you don't get on MeWe, because MeWe, you can choose to have, there's no algorithm. I put mine so it goes chronologically, and if somebody started an argument, I'm not even going to know. I'm not usually even going to see it. It's wonderful. So anyway, Instagram's, it's owned by Facebook. It's the same crap. And they've done the same thing that Facebook did, where no one sees your posts anymore. And I'm constantly getting notifications of them wanting me to change my account to a business account, I guess because I have a lot of followers. They just assume, and I'm not. And so I'm sure I'll get banned for that sooner or later. Horrible, horrible company. Talk about a freaking monopoly on social media. I really wish they hadn't bought out, because I used to love Instagram. That was my platform, you know, besides YouTube, that was my favorite platform. But then, of course, everything Facebook touches, they ruin. So, yeah. Let's see. Whoops, that just scrolled too far. Dee said, inspiration for me usually comes by looking around when I'm out and about, building flowers, and sometimes what someone says will give me an idea. Yeah, those are definitely cool things. Let's see. Make sure if you do the Locri fine art, it'll highlight my name in orange so I see your question. I may miss it on accident otherwise. Hold on. No, that can wait. What is this? Oh. Okay. Tara said, I think turtle is my favorite. If only I could get, I think the turtle is my favorite. Hopefully I could get the color just like this one. Yeah, lots of colors. Lots of, I'm using the white right now to come through and get highlights on the wrinkles. I'll still have to do a few shadows. We're just defining stuff now. Finally bringing him to that point where he starts to look good. Gosh, I may end up spending this whole stream just working. There's so many details that he still needs. But I think there's just about every color in him. He's like the whole rainbow here. Also, he looks really skewed. It's the camera angle is coming from an angle, so he looks all elongated in a weird way. It's not that way in person. Karina said, I have thousands of friends on Facebook, but I only see the same half a dozen people's posts. Yep. So, and it's like, and that's what a lot of people keep saying, like, why I can't, my friends won't follow me over to MeWe. I tried MeWe and they won't go. How many of your friends are you actually communicating with on Facebook? I actually went on and I saw something, it's a good friend, a friend I really like. And I see these things that they post and I'm like, I just lost respect for you again. You can't be this stupid. So, I mean, this is so, the other thing that I'm like, I'm liking not being on Facebook because I would rather not know my friends are that dumb. So it's, yeah, I'm liking MeWe better. But it's kind of funny because it's like, yeah, my friends won't follow me. Did you see their post anyway? Is it that big of a deal? Make new friends on MeWe. Paul said, I loved Instagram because it was us curated photos. Yeah, me too. And it wasn't as much, you didn't get the negativity usually. You didn't get like arguing over politics or whatever everyone's arguing over this week. You didn't get a lot of that. It was like, here, I can follow accounts for paintings, for animals, for, saltwater stuff. I can follow those, betas, and just get that. And it was just nice. And now, let's see. Hi, Lisa. Do you think Derwent drawing pencils would provide good coverage, spectrum white, for muted landscapes? Yeah, but I don't look at Derwent drawing as a standalone pencil. Like, I feel like it's accessories for my other pencils. They're amazing, but they also are so limited in color that, yeah, I mean, you can do muted landscapes. You certainly can finish work with them, but it wouldn't be like my standalone. Like, it wouldn't be the pencil that I was like, oh, you're getting started in colored pencil? Just get these. I would be like, get other brands that have more colors and those. Paul said, and with dedication and correct repetition, your bones get used to it. Exactly. And I think that's why tracing works so well, because you get a bit of muscle memory. I mean, it's kind of funny. So last night I had some free time. I probably could have found something to work on, but I took a break and I played World of Warcraft for a bit yesterday. And I normally play, I've been playing my Warlock. My main character, like 3 people will know what the heck I'm talking about. My main character was a Holy Priest. I used to be a healer when I used to raid before I like actually started working non-stop. But I played the Holy Priest. I started leveling her last night, and I'm like, crap, I don't even remember how to play it. And it was funny because I got hit with something that I needed to do, a certain action to dispel, and instantly, like, my muscle memory and we are talking years ago, the last I really played that character, muscle memory was like, Shift E. That's how you fix this problem. Like, you just remember. If you would have asked me last night, oh, where is your dispel button? I was like, wait, I have dispel? I didn't even remember that. But your muscle memory kicks in, and it's like, this is what you do when this happens. It was just kind of a funny thing. But art's the same way. When you trace something over and over again, you'll get to where you just, I don't know, you have more control. And so much of it isn't even just muscle memory. So much of it is noticing things. When you trace it, you may notice details you wouldn't have noticed if you were just sketching on your own. Karina said, I don't play into anything negative on Facebook, so all I see are people's art. That's not so bad. Still prefer MeWe. You know, neither do I. I don't comment on stuff, but it doesn't matter. When I go on, it can be a group. So like a saltwater group. People, oh dear God, you want bad advice for reef keeping? Join a Facebook reef keeping group. Dear God. It is painful. Although my favorite is still, so we put lights, actinic lights on our tanks, and it gives a very blue tint. In person, it's not so blue, but in photograph, everything's just blue. And you have like the ongoing thing. It's like a meme now. People will post a photo. It's nearly solid blue, no detail. Can someone ID this for me? Yeah, someone who, I've only got mean things to say about the person who took the photo. Like, how is it's blue. It's just solid blue. Put your white lights on so people can see, or shine a flashlight. Like, you can't really think anyone's going to ID. Facebook is just ridiculous. And it'll be the same post again and again for me, even though that's, every time I log on, that's what I see. So yeah, I'm not missing it, that's for sure. And I thought that, well, I mostly, I'll see stuff just for groups, not for friends or family members or whatever, because I think I have most people unfollowed at this point. So yeah, no, they're making it harder and harder to see the stuff you want in the groups you follow. I was having a hard time. I don't know if they changed it back or what, but the other day I wanted to log in to check something about a frog or something about the red-eyed tree frogs. I couldn't find the group. I could not get the group to pull up. It was like, why is this? I should be able to go to my groups and scroll down. It wasn't even showing on there. It is, the group is there. I eventually found it. I had to do like a weird search. I had to do a backwards way to get to it. Like, why? It kept showing me, instead of my groups, it kept showing me advertisements. Do you want to join this group? What about this group? Have you seen this group? And I'm like, can I just see my groups? That's what I'm looking for. And I'm getting ads, but not seeing the groups I follow. They're making it harder and harder to see the content that you chose to follow. Why waste time there? We all need to move into a better platform. Or go back to forums. I like forums. Natalie said, muscle memory is amazing. I'm software educated and preach the benefits of practice because muscle memory will eventually take over. Yeah, that one, it made me laugh last night though when I was playing that, the Holy Priest. When I hit the Shift E, it was like, what a random, like, I don't remember things at all. I have horrible memory. So that, like, the fact that the muscle memory is what kicked in there. It wasn't me remembering where looking at the screen, I have no idea where that button was at all. But my muscle memory was, this just happened, Shift E. Like, it was so weird. When I hit it, I was like, looking at my screen, I'm like, I don't even know where that is on my bar there. But yeah, just kind of a funny thing. Yay, coffee. Sarah said, I'm a chemistry student and social media makes me cringe every day. Yeah, it's bad. I made, if you have reef or even are remotely interested, I put a link in I put a link for a lot of our groups on MeWe. We've got a plant group, like plants, gardening, anything. If it's green or it grows, you can throw it in there. We've got our art group. Our art group, I think, someone check me. I think we're the biggest art group on MeWe. It's very active. That's the most active group I'm in. I made a wreath keeping group because one of the things that happened on MeWe that's unfortunate, people will make groups and then they're not active and then they abandon them and the group ends up being just a place for people to spam inappropriate adult material or, you know, herbal supplements to cure anything under the sun. It's all, you know, the snake oil type stuff. You get I'm not saying herbal supplements don't work. I'm saying these ones are the snake oil ones. So they, a lot of them just ended up being spammy. So I'm like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to make our own groups and we will moderate it and hopefully that will go better. The cool thing with the wreath keeping group, if you are an artist who likes to draw marine stuff, we're going to start doing, I think every Saturday, we'll do a sales Saturday. Wait, Nick, what did you say to call it? Nick had a good way of wording it, and I don't remember now. But we're going to do a sale Saturday where artists or like anyone who has, like, you could make wine glasses with sea turtles on them, whatever it is you do, we're going to allow people like reef themed or marine life themed stuff to sell, which is cool because if reef keepers, like as a reef keeper, I like to buy that stuff. As an artist, I'd like to get that stuff in front of reef keepers who would like to buy that stuff. So we're going to do that too. So if you want to join that group on Saturdays, you can post your artwork. You can do one post. I think what we decided would be one post, and I need to make a thread about this. One post. And if you have multiple items, you can list them in the comments under your one post. So one post every Saturday. So that is the plan. Taylor said, I'm obsessed with your artwork. Oh, thank you. I've been following you for years and you're actually the reason I started drawing about 6 years ago. That is so awesome. Yay. Paul said, there's no going back for Facebook. I just don't see it for them. No, I don't think so either. With all the damage to businesses and just failing its users now. So no, yeah, I think you're right. Saturday sale day. Saturday sale day. I'm not going to remember that. But yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. I kept hoping Facebook would get better. I don't think it's going to. I think they're just too far gone. They're too far in the whole trying to make investors happy and trying to, I don't know. I just think they went too far down that rabbit hole. Like the whole beta thing, like you used to be able to sell betas and coral and whatever. Now you get your account banned if you do. And it's like, well, I like to buy coral. I'd like to know if somebody has something in my area. Oh my gosh, itchy nose, stop itching. So yeah, my gosh, those frogs. There's 2 of them going back and forth right now in there. The girls don't chirp. Let's see. Karina said, I don't own a TV, so I only have the computer. YouTube, Netflix. Can't do negative, so I never watch the news online. My bubble is simple and nice. And working tutorials, it's easy. You know, that is the way to do it. I need some blues and bluish greens. Let's get some other colors in here. Yeah, we don't have TV. We have a TV, but it's, you know, we watch Netflix or whatever. Mostly my husband plays video games on it. Shayna said, just joined. Speaking of tracing and bad advice, some unfortunately advise against tracing and encourage not to do it. Some artists feel bad, especially when they say they don't trace. Yeah, no, I see that advice all the time. And here's the thing. I've been teaching for I started teaching in, itchy nose, stop. Was it 1999, I think? It's been a long time. So I have the experience that a lot of these artists who are like, never trace, it's cheating. You don't have the experience I do in teaching. I've got over 20 years in teaching, and I saw what happened with the students who I had traced versus those who chose not to trace. The ones who traced improved their freehanding skill. So the goal is not to be dependent on only being able to trace. The goal is to improve. So you're freehanding, it forces you to notice stuff. And you'll also have people say you should never look at a reference photo or it's cheating. You'll have people who say don't use an eraser or it's cheating. That one always made me laugh. No matter what it is that you do in art, you're gonna have somebody tell you it's wrong. And the funny thing is the people who tell you it's wrong are so close-minded, like they've not experienced enough to be able to give you a genuine opinion, or like there's no research behind their opinion, I guess I should say. I've got 20 years of experience behind why I teach the way I do. So it was always kind of funny. Hold on. Local fish store. 1 second. Hey. Hey,
this is Brandon over Doc Studios.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm live streaming at the moment, but so say hi to everybody. Brandon says hi to everybody. I just wanted to check to see, were you waiting for me to pay for that before you ordered, or did you already order the UV sterilizer?
It's already here.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll probably come by later today and pick it up and pay for it.
No, I haven't. I was
Yes.
talked about that I sent you an invoice on. That is my fault, totally. I will send over right now.
Okay.
But I will talk to you a little bit later.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, I'm glad I answered that call because I would not have I would go there straight after this, but he didn't order it. He forgot he meant to order the other one that I needed. I don't really need it till next week, so it's fine. But yeah, so glad I took that call. I'm super professional. It's what I do. Let's see. But yeah, going back to just the way that people teach, you have to wonder. I feel like you get a lot of it too if they went to college. I see this all the time where people go to college and it almost turns in like whatever a college professor teaches them on anything turns into a religion of sorts, to where it's like this way is the only way anything can ever be. And they don't open their mind to other possibilities. And I feel like college just closes people's minds on so many elements. And so like going to art, we see this a lot where a professor said, oh, you should only do this or you should only use that. Yet these professors are giving some of the worst advice. I'm not saying all of them. There can be good professors there too. But I see this a lot where people will come in on the comments, well, I'm a student of whatever college. And it's like, that means that actually to me discredits you some, because you're only regurgitating what your professor has told you. There's no real life experience behind this. And if your professor was any good at their art, they probably would be like more into bigger galleries where I would have heard of them. So, I mean, maybe not, but maybe that's not the best example, but they just regurgitate what was told to them, and they act like if somebody in a school setting taught them something or said something that it is gospel. No. And especially with art, so much of it comes down to experimenting and trying different things. And when you're only looking at it as this is the only option, this is the only thing that can work, it's like you really limit and close yourself off. I remember years ago when I started the first gallery I had my stuff in, Angel's Gallery in the Pomona Arts Colony, there was a guy who did these space scenes and they were really cool. And I don't remember who asked him. I don't even remember how it came up, but something that came up about college. And he was like, I'm not going to college because I don't want them to form my art into what they want it to be versus what I want it to be. And I remember thinking, well, that's dumb. Why wouldn't you want to learn more? It's not dumb. You know, find different ways. There's different ways besides college to learn art, but he was kind of right from a lot, at least now, a lot of what I'm seeing come out of these colleges, they are not, if somebody is already good at art, they usually stay good, but I've seen where people almost reverted. Their art got so bad because the teachers are like, basically paint this blindfolded with your toes. And that is what art is today. So I've seen some weird stuff that came out of these colleges, but I find that you get that more almost dogmatic view of things from people who are usually currently college students versus already graduated. It seems like once they get a bit more experience, they start learning, hey, maybe there are other ways to do this. But yeah, that's kind of my attitude on that. But that's like as far as people who are so vocal about their bad opinions or bad advice seems to be, I see it more from college students than anyone else. I mean, it's not just them, but more than anyone else by a lot. Well, listen, thank you again for being an oasis in a world of awe. Oh, thank you. Gypsy Heart said, you have a gift awaiting you in your MeWe messages. Uh-oh. Should I look now? Do I want to look now? Let's see. Where's my MeWe messages? Ooh, I just got goosebumps. I just got an audiobook. We have, let's see, Gypsy Heart, her husband, his audiobook just went live the other day and wanted to send me a copy promo if I wanted to listen. I don't know if you can see, I just have goosebumps. Yay, new book. Thank you. Ooh, yay. Happy day. I like books. Speaking of books, totally different thing. I brought up in Joseph's live stream on Monday. A lot of you had recommended The Wheel of Time, and I just wasn't getting into it. I'm at like chapter 37, and it's finally semi-interesting now. I don't know, has anyone else had that experience with that? Because I was asking, does it ever get good? Because like one of my favorite books did that, where Chronicles of Elantra, the first book was so slow, although it wasn't 8 years long. It was so slow. And I just really, I was like, I almost returned it. I was like, I don't want to finish this. But then once I finished it was like, okay, now it's good. Now I love the characters and I love everything. But I kind of felt that way, or I was hoping that that's what it's going to be in this case, that it would get good. But I'm like, I am chapter 37. It is just, maybe it was 36. It started getting kind of good. So I'm still giving it a chance. We'll see if it goes anywhere. I just don't like most of the characters are just, like, they're not super likable. They're not, like, they're just blah. There's nothing memorable where I don't care what happens to any of them. I think that's part of the problem. And in the author, I need a more, like, aqua. Do I not have more aqua? I may need to, hold on. Let me grab some other pencils. Ow. Sorry, guys. Am I disturbing you? Okay, I'm back. Now, taking a break from the book thing for a second. I've got a few different type of aqua teal type colors. I don't have exactly the color I want in my polychromos. So the thing is, these are all, they have a higher wax content than the polychromos do. So if I want to blend something out with powder blender or even with my fingers or whatever, these are not the pencils I want to use for that. These pencils are for areas where I don't need to blend anything. So it's okay to use your wax-based pencils, or I've got my Derwent Lightfast, which are listed as an oil-based, but they have a higher wax content. They don't blend great on this. So as much as I love them, that's not what they're for, or the ideal use for them. So I've got some Caradosh Luminance and some Derwent Lightfast that I'm going to be using because they had better aqua colors than what I've got in my polychromos set. I don't know if I just lost my aqua colors or if it just doesn't have them in there. It could be either on this, I could have them sitting under my easel and I dropped them, but that's what I'm going to use these for. But I have to know anywhere I put them, I'm not going to be able to really blend it out that much. Let's see. Starving Artist Collective said, just join the Reef Creeper group. Don't have any fish, but but live vicariously through yours. Seriously, my fish, I don't know. I've been tempted to ask. So there's a forum I love. It's called Humble Dot Fish, something like that. Just Google Humble Fish. I'm like, should I ask them, or will people get mad at me if I'm like, I just don't know. There's got to be a different way to look at keeping the reef tank than what I am. I mean, I've had my nano tank for 2 years and it's been pretty much zero problems. Like no problems at all, other than when the power went out. I was stressed, but the tank did fine. I had the power generator, everything was fine. My problem is now with this bigger tank, every time something goes wrong, so like I've got fish that are sick and I've got a treat. I'm trying the peroxide. We're going to see how that goes, but it's like I stress. I've got a treat tonight for flukes. I'm like, it seems, I know that it's always something with reef keeping, but I'm just, why did I give myself this stress? Why did I get a bigger tank? Why did I get, like, a bigger tanks are actually supposed to be easier, except when you've got a whole outbreak of parasites, not so much. It's better or easier for water chemistry reasons, but for parasites, So I'm kind of like, this is why I got out of reef keeping years ago. I had them from like 2005 till 2006. No, 1995, I got my first tank. I had that tank and then I upgraded from a 40 to a 65 at one point and had that for several years. And then I got out of it in 2006. And I was like, I'm never getting back into this. As much as I love them, it's just too stressful. I don't want the stress. Well, apparently I forgot how stressful it was because I'm back into it. And I'm back to going like, why am I doing this to myself? I don't want the stress. Like if power goes out, I stress. And I have made, taken precautions where I've got the not UV sterilized, so that my brain is all over. I've got the backup generators, but they're a pain in the butt, like a serious pain. I just don't know why I've done this to myself. My mom keeps laughing at me. She keeps saying the same thing. I don't know why you got back into that. I love them. And I think part of the problem is I love them too much. And so I'm too invested emotionally into these dang fish. So when something goes wrong, I'm like, I make myself actually sick worrying about them because I'm a crazy person. And yeah, let's see. Karina said, I'm loving the colors in this. The purples and turquoise are my favorite. Thank you. Did you see? Look at, my nails are my nails almost look black. They're purple. I love purple and teal together too. Or aqua or whatever. Clark Reiner said, with 2851 members, we are definitely one of the, I'm not reading that right. 2,851 members. We are definitely one of the largest groups, if not the largest. Isn't letting me sort by size. Tara said, itchy nose equals you're going to have a row with someone? I don't know what that term, a row. I'm going to have a row with someone? Maybe I don't want to know. I don't, you've got laughing faces. It makes me think it's, I shouldn't ask. Phyllis said, tell the boys with all that chirping, they're starting to sound desperate. That's funny. Let's see. Get caught up on some of these questions. Oh, I'm way behind. Here we go. Paul said, even the old masters used tools like light to sketch on glass with the model behind it. Yep. And everyone wants to deny it and come up with reasons why not. And the weird thing is, what difference does it make? I want to see good artwork. I don't care what tools you use to create good artwork. I remember being at where was it? It was a gallery. And the artist had taken a photograph and then did some sort of digital manipulation. And then he printed it on a canvas, but then he did all these weird brushstrokes on top. And someone's like, oh, but it's not a real painting. It's awesome. Does it matter how he created awesome artwork? Yes, he used modern tools in combination, but it was awesome. And it's kind of funny, like art, I don't know why people want to set rules for, unless it's not archival. Of course, that's an issue. We want it to last. But other than that, I don't care what tools you use as long as it's archival. Like, good art is good art. Makes no difference to me how you created it. I mean, I'm curious how you created it, but it doesn't make me like, it doesn't take away from the good art because you used different tools than other people did. I don't know why people are so, like, determined. I've seen really nasty comments about people who use airbrushing, that it's not real fine art. I don't think that word means what you think it means, or phrase, whatever. Nick said they paid bazillions of dollars for that professor's opinion. Of course they're going to parrot that. No, is that not, you are right. You know what? It's kind of funny because it brings me back to the whole Holbein thing. I wonder how many people are so in love with Holbein because they overpaid for them and are like, I have to love it because I paid an arm and a leg for these. Like with the college, you paid a lot to listen to that professor, so you have to love it and believe it, and it's now your priest, I guess. Would that be what the professors are called now when the way people treat them? Krita said, if I didn't trace, I'd still be miles behind, so I fully agree with you. So I'm doing a mixed drawing for this month's challenge, but it's taking so long. It won't be finished this time. It's pencil. Probably should have used another medium. Natalie Bug said, Harley, the hat-wearing guinea pig, says hello. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. We're watching the stream together in bed right now. Oh my gosh. If you guys have not seen Harley, the hat-wearing guinea pig, we're going to need you to post more pictures. But she posted over on MeWe, dear God, this guinea pig in a hat is the cutest thing you have ever seen. Natalie said, oh, me, I can't get into it, but husband loves it. Okay, that makes me feel better. I'm like, what is wrong with me that I'm not getting into this book? Because I've only ever heard good about it. And I'm like, I don't love the characters. The description. I think that's one of my problems. That we're going back to the Wheel of Time book. The author, I don't like there's describing something, and then there's describing something when you're creating a new world where no one knows like what this creature looks like. We need a description, but I don't need a description on so detailed, pages long, on mucking sheep stalls. I'm familiar with. I mean, I don't do it myself, but I mean, I get it. I don't need a description on what grass feels like. I don't need a description on like that level of detail, that you take it too far where there's so many words in the book that it's not moving forward. And I'm like, God, there's still 7 hours into this book and I've been listening to it for 3 years now. Not really, but it feels that way. It feels more like 8. But it's just now starting. I'm like, all this time, I have listened to this book for so long to just now be starting to maybe hint at the point. And we're still only hinting. I still don't know what the heck's going on. It is just, I don't know. Paul said, do you think Sylvie would replace Tom Hiddleston's Loki eventually because he's played this character since forever? I don't know, but I wouldn't be upset. I really like that actress. I think she did such a great job. I loved her in Loki, so I wouldn't be upset. I love him, but she did a wonderful, I was really happy with her performance. So Gypsy Heart said, all the feedback he's gotten on his book, everyone generally says from 6 on, it's an intense roller coaster, but the first few are slower uphill ride, laying down the land, but still good. Okay, 6 I can deal with. 36 chapters till Wheel of Time remotely got a little interesting, and even then it's not. I'm somewhat curious now how it moves on, so I may end up getting another one, but I'll probably be listening to yours after I'm done with this one. Actually, I may jump into that first. Let's see. Whoops. Yeah, if you want to put a link to the book in the chat, it may get filtered, but we'll approve it so people can see the book. Yeah, Chaos Reigns, Oath Broken by J. Smith. I'm excited. Let's see. Oh, he said he wanted to get with me if I like it, he can provide a few copies to give away in live streams. Now that would be fun. I like that idea. Natalie, I have to like it. I'm just going to have to. Natalie said, we upgraded to a 50-gallon tank for, I can never say that, axolotus. That is a word I read all the time. I love them, but I can't say it. Yep, big tank is so much work. I don't even mind like the water changes and stuff. So I did, like yesterday was water change day, water change Wednesday. Well, it's supposed to be water change Wednesday, but I'm doing it on Thursday because that's a whole other thing. But anyway, I don't mind regular maintenance. I'm fine with it. It's when illness and disease kicks in that I'm like, oh, I thought I did things right and things are going badly. Karina said, nails are cool. I didn't notice till you showed them. Thank you. Tara's over here still laughing. Argument is what I don't remember what it was that we were talking about because my brain doesn't keep, I'm always like 3 conversations ahead and it's really hard for me, like of whatever's coming out of my mouth at the moment. I'm 3 conversations ahead. My brain works way too quickly. It's hard to keep up, but going back in time on what we just talked about, gone. I'm sorry. Taylor said, speaking of airbrushes, do you still use one? And if what, so what brand? I use the Grex. It's actually sitting right here. I've got the Grex set up. I really like this because there's interchangeable needles. I love, sorry, scratching the microphone. It's really, really nice for that. So, like one airbrush, I can change the kit to where it holds a 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, or 0.7. I didn't bother with the 7. That's bigger than I would ever need. The 2 and the 3, the 3 is what I use more often than not, but yeah, it's good. I like it. I've got that and the air compressor. No, Travel, it's not an alarm going on. It's it's my dart frogs. They're really talkative. Let's see. Shana said, how long will you have items in stock for your Locri merch, as I worry they will go once it's out of stock? It stays that way. I wanted to buy something for Christmas. Most of it will stay. I've taken some older stuff down. The thing with the merch on I'm using spring.com or Teespring. The thing that's weird with that merch is like for the t-shirt stuff. So I've got my prints on a different site. That just stays. That doesn't go away. But the merch, if I come up with a new design, it's really hard for people to find the new design because it lists everything. It's very weird the way it's organized. I don't know why they organize it that way actually, but it should still be there. But if there was something that I pulled down that you wanted, contact me and I can probably put it back up if it did get taken down. So it depends on what it is because I'll put new stuff up. But I took one old design down just because you couldn't find the new stuff anymore. Laura said, I'm still only on book 6 of Wheel of Time. I got fed up of the recapping and got lost for a little while, but I'll try to get back after I've had a little break. That is not encouraging. He over-explains everything, and if I have to have him over-explain the same crap he already over-explained, dear God, I don't think I can do it. I don't know if I'm pushing through on those ones. Oh, that concerns me. Velma said, did you say once that you had a booklet on MeWe? No. I don't think so. I'm trying to think what we could have been talking about. I don't have a booklet. No, I don't think so. Anne said, good to see you live. Not been here in a while. I'm struggling with a group photo drawing and OMG, it's been so frustrating. I hope you're well. Oh, group photos. I hate to group, whether it be like a group of dogs, group of animals, group of people. It's so just, especially if they provide like, here's 6 different photos I want you to combine. Like, of course, all with different light sources. So that always makes it fun. Karina said, I used to have axolotls. I can't say it. Love those crazy creatures. The dart frogs are making me feel relaxed and sleepy. I love their singing in the background. Paul said saltwater tank. Yeah, I have technically 3 saltwater tanks and a freshwater beta tank. He's just in a little 4-gallon, although I do want to upgrade his. But the saltwater tanks, I've got my nano tank, the 13.5-gallon that I've had forever. It has my mostly green star polyps, but I'm using it as my coral quarantine tank at Coral Land and Invert Quarantine. And then I've got I've got another quarantine tank for fish. It's more of a holding tank. It's in my bedroom, another 13.5-gallon. And then I've got the 83-gallon Planet Aquarium, the big reef. And that's the one that I'm like, I got new fish and they brought in flukes. And then I got, which is treatable. It's not like end of the world or anything. Then now I seem to have ick going on. So I don't think the new fish brought that in. If I had to guess, I was talking about this Wednesday night, because I got the fish from someone who quarantines. So if I had to get, like, the flukes definitely came from those fish. That by fish I've had for 2.5 years. They didn't have anything like that. But not a big deal to treat on that. But the ick, I suspect my clowns have just been carriers, because they can build up an immunity to it, but they can still be carriers. So I'm like, they're like typhoid Marys. So I think that they probably gave the ick to the new fish. They're all stressed being treated for flukes, and I think that that's what happened. So it's only been a couple of spots. It's nothing to where I'm freaking out yet, unless it gets in their gills and I'm not seeing it, because that makes it so they can't breathe and they can suffocate, and you're just... So yes, it is the saltwater tank that I am super stressed. I don't really stress about the beta tank. Is the easiest. It's small. I need to do its water change yesterday. I need to do that today. But yeah, super, super easy. The reef tank, however, they're very expensive. Like it is expensive, which, you know, I budgeted for. I saved for that. The money part didn't bug me as much as just the stress of, do I have a disease now in this tank? And well, I do. And just dealing with that. Like I worry too much. I care too much about it. And I need to like learn to not care so much. Like care, but not like enjoy it, but not, I care too much. Let's see. JPC 13. Hi, I haven't seen you in a while. Said I could never do Wheel of Time. That's far too much commitment for me. Yeah, I don't think you're missing that much, honestly. I like books that are more oxalotl. I'm not going to remember that. Oxalotl. I am so not remembering that. Cutest little critters. My husband wants one. I'm like, you can get one. You can take care of the tank. He says, no, he wants to get one and I take care of the tank. All water creatures are not my responsibility. Not a lot. Velma said, I didn't see the typo when I hit send. I was wondering if you had a book club on MeWe. I think we do. So we had 2. One person made a book club, but it has my name on it. But I don't have control over it. Which actually is the same with the art group. I probably should get that transferred over to me. But then we have we made another one. I forgot about that one. I made another one. So it was more like we could give each other suggestions and like tell each other why we like it. But it kind of turned into people going, I read this book. But what did you feel about that? I want to know what you felt about the book. So that would be the one, but I don't remember which one's which. So, yeah. Gypsy Heart said, if you like to display your books, have you seen the juniper cover? So gorgeous. I have not. I don't pay that much attention to them because I do Kindle and audiobooks. Like I don't collect. I do have a couple books where I've had signed by the author, which is cool, but I don't even them. I'm like, I don't even know where they are right now. Anne-Marie said, I struggled with the faces because the photo was blurry to begin with. Oh, that makes it hard. With even enhanced, it's getting the faces right because the faces were small. Yeah, that's I've been there. I won't do it again. Like if the photo's not good enough, I'd say I wouldn't do it, but I did on my friend George. I painted Coralfish 12G, if you guys remember that video, the oil over acrylic painting, and that was not a great photo. And I did make it work, but it was one person. It would definitely be worse if you're trying to fit in a lot. Okay, let's get some shading. And then we're going to start that octopus. What time? Oh, good. We've still got a decent amount of time to work on the octopus. And I'll still come through and make adjustments on the turtle as we go. We're just gonna, oh wait, let's give him a little bit of a highlight. I definitely have some shading and stuff to do, but we'll let him sit like that for now. Drink my coffee that I keep forgetting about. I'm really looking forward to my my Lucamellas, or the bumblebee dart frogs. They should start chirping soon. They're getting, let's see, did he put, okay, making sure he put the dosing pump on it this time. But they're getting to where, looking back at my fish order, they're getting older, they're getting big. So they should hopefully start, I guess I don't need to scooch that. They should start chirping soon. Hopefully I didn't get all girls. The boys are the talkers, which, as my husband says, is so opposite of human life. But they hopefully will start chirping because they have a really cool chirp too. But so far nothing. My tree frogs, the red-eyed tree frogs, my gosh, they bark, but they don't have that really pretty, like, red-eyed tree frogs sound like smoker chihuahuas. They don't have that trill to their voice. They're interesting. They're adorable, but it's not that like majestic sounding. You're just like, who's been letting their chihuahua smoke, and why is it in my house right now? The book group is Lacri's library. Okay. Yeah, we had a couple. One is being used, one is not being used, because I like to confuse people. Paul said, so Jeff Bezos just perused the outer part of Earth and went back. Interesting. I don't keep up with him. I have no idea what he's up to these days. Nick said, will the yellow and black frogs sound like these ones, or sound like the ones we hear? No. You can look up online, Lucamella dart frog or bumblebee dart frog. So there's three that you may see. A fine spot, and I did not go with a fine spot because they're not as outgoing. I wanted a more bold frog that's not afraid. Like when I walk up to the tank, mine just look at me like, are you putting more food in now? Like they don't run away. They're not afraid. Usually. Well, these guys are, but the bumblebees don't. So, I need more magenta. Ooh, you are what? Yes. Then there's the banded, where it's just like clean bands of yellow, black. Those didn't have as good of a chirp either. And so I went with just the regular basic, which is funny because they're like $10 cheaper a piece. But I went with those because they're bold and they have the better chirp of everybody. So I'm pretty excited for those. It's not, I would say these guys, these are the Santa Isabels. I always say Isabella for some reason. Santa Isabel. Those guys, I would say, probably have the best chirp of a dart frog, but the bumblebees are not far behind. It's a different sound. Let's see. Anne said, wow, last time I saw you do this picture was designing it. Man, need to catch up with you. And oh, my dad used to have budgies and had babies too. I used to have a lot of parakeets, or budgies is like the common name we use as parakeets out here. But we used to have a lot of those when I was, like, I always had a personal parakeet and a cockatiel as a pet. My cockatiel's name was Spuds. Spuds McKenzie was really popular in the 80s, and I was a dumb kid, and you name things off what's popular. So that's where Spuds came from. But yeah, the cockatiels don't make the nicest sound. Actually, funny story. So my cockatiel, I have, you guys know Chicken. Chicken, male chickens or male cockatiels, they're noisier than the girls in my experience by a lot. So Chicken has the normal cockatiel squawk, which is squawk, 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 like just when he loses his mind, where he wants attention. And it's hard, like you get frustrated, but also he just wants me back in the room. He wants to hang out. So, and he gets tons of attention. My husband's if my husband's not working, he's in the room with the birds. So Chicken has that horrible cockatiel scream that is, it'll make you lose your mind a little bit. Well, we finally got him. We went through a few different things over the last couple of years to try to calm him down. He didn't used to be that bad. My parents came to visit back. This was when we were in the apartment. So like 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. And for the last few years, Chicken, after they left, we don't know what happened. That's when he lost his mind and turned into the biggest screamy chicken. Like just tantrum. If you're not in the room, he's going to have a tantrum. So we've tried, we used to be able to yell chicken no. And normally yelling at a bird won't work because birds like noise. You yell, the bird's like, I'm going to yell too. This is fun. Like they love it. So it's not a punishment to yell at a bird. But we used to be able to yell chicken no, and he would stop. And we're like, okay, that kind of calmed it down. Then that stopped working. And so we got to where like, well, there's no point. Don't keep doing that. I think it's making it worse. And it worked great for a couple of years. And then that stopped more recently working. And so I finally figured out if I smack, because he shares the wall, he's right up against the other side of the wall of my office. So if I hit the wall, just tap that a couple times, he'll stop screaming. It's amazing because he's not getting me going in the room. He's not getting like positive reinforcement when I go in to like cover his cage, because I was just covering the cage and then uncovering it like 10 minutes later. That kind of helped, but you know, this has been great. We got Chicken to stop. The problem is my husband's Indian ringneck, he mimics Chicken's scream exactly to where it's hard to tell which one's which. And now he screams like an annoying cockatiel. And I love Chicken, but that cockatiel scream is annoying. He does the annoying cockatiel scream all the time now. We're just like, you've got to be kidding me. We finally got Chicken to stop having like, I don't care when Chicken does his chirping, his happy talking, his singing, like normal stuff. It's when he does the scream, 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 nonstop like that. The full meltdown. That's what gets annoying. And now freaking Sushi is doing that. I'm like, are you serious? We finally got a way to get Chicken to stop. But yeah, they're noisy. Luckily, it used to be stressful when we were in the apartment when Chicken would do that. We didn't have Sushi in the apartment. We just had Chicken and Nugget. But Nugget's the parrotlet. And he's pretty quiet. He talks nonstop. God, that bird is a talker, but his voice is fairly quiet, so that wasn't bad. But Chicken screaming in the apartment was a problem. Like, someone's going to complain. But, yeah, so at least we're in a house now, so there's no one to complain other than your eye starts twitching like, please stop screaming. Please stop screaming. Let's see. Nick's, oh, wait, no. Paul said, Guatemala plateau frog. I don't know what that is. Max said, my favorites are Pomelo. I have 6 species, breeding pairs. Those are the ones, they're more solid color. Like there's an orange kind of solid and a yellow solid, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't remember. I'm kind of new. I've only had dart frogs for a year. I have had these guys for a year. Well, I had the first one and then I got him some buddies. Loud buddies. Well, one loud buddy, one's a female. But anyway, I'm not that knowledgeable about like all the different dart frogs. Is Matt fond of geckos too? Yes, he is. Matt is fond of all animals, all critters. Like the other day, I had a grasshopper. This thing was huge out eating my hardy hibiscus. So I'm like looking for like, do we have any bug killer? I couldn't find anything. So, I mean, we don't usually use that stuff. But Matt's like, what are you trying to do? And I'm like, this caterpillar has got to go. I keep moving him and he keeps coming back and eating my stuff. And he's like, oh, let me see. So we catch him in a cup. I'm like, you're going to keep that dang thing, aren't you? You're going to keep it and you're going to start harvesting my hardy hibiscus so you can feed it. I know it because he was in there taking pictures of it to send to his friend. I'm like, oh God, here we go. But he walked him down like the road and dropped him off in somewhere else. Away from the hardy hibiscus. There's certain plants that they really like. It's not all plants. But yeah, that was, Matt loves all the critters. I had a video, I think I've told this several times, I'm sure. Matt had we both love jumping spiders. Like I just like spiders, but jumping spiders are so cute and fluffy and adorable. And we have them just native, like in the area. And so I was going on a walk one day and oh, this needs to be orange too. I was going on a walk and when I left by the front door, there was a little jumping spider. So I texted him. I'm like, hey, go look outside. There's a jumping spider. I see him on the Ring camera going, oh, look at the little baby spider doing like this baby talk and talking to, I'm like, oh gosh, I should have recorded it because it was hilarious. My husband's a big guy. So to see a guy this big doing baby talk to a spider, yes, he likes geckos. We don't have any because I don't want to take care of anything else, but yes, he likes them. I had originally considered doing, because you can do not day geckos, morning geckos can go in with my bumblebee dart frogs, but they're escape artists and they self-fertilize. So if you have one, you're going to have more than one. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I want to deal with that. Gypsy Heart said, my 8-year-old just walked by and she said, oh, that's a shark and a turtle in space. They're so flipper fabulous. And all that spacey goodness. Oh my gosh. Your 8-year-old is awesome. So you've got the seal of approval from Selah. That is awesome. Who I probably just butchered her name and I apologize. Anne said, my dad has had an aviary in our back garden when I was little. Had quails, finches, cockatiel. Fred was my favorite. He mimicked Robin Hood cartoon rooster in the Disney movie. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Growing up, we had a aviary with lovebirds. And then we had another aviary we had military macaws, and then they got rid of those to get blue and gold macaws because the militaries weren't breeding them. So it was a huge flight, like huge. I'm sure our neighbors hated us because macaws are noisy. Let's see. Gosh, they're loud today. Karina said, I could be wrong, but I think I can't say that axolotls are the only critter that can live its whole life in larval form without transforming into a salamander. They also grow missing limbs. Yeah, growing the missing limbs thing I knew. That is so weird. Wade hasn't moved since the stream started. Gibson's on his back. Legs in the air. Has that? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Actually, Liger did it freeze. You comfy over there, Gibson? All sprawled out for the world to see. Gypsy Heart said, holy crap, you're like the first person ever to read her name right. First go. Oh, I'll screw it up next time then. JBC13 said, I wanted a cockatiel forever, but now I'm getting an apartment soon, and I know my roommate would lose his mind at the chirping. You know what you may consider, if you've got time, the thing with birds, and this is what a lot of people don't realize, they're like, oh, you just keep it in a cage, and it's there. If you want a bird just to be in a cage, and you don't want, like, just, you have a buddy in the room, but it doesn't, like, need so much social interaction, go with a canary. But birds just need a lot of one-on-one attention. It works for us and it works for a lot of people, but you have to know if it's a fit for your lifestyle. The birds, most of them, that's not what I need. I need a powder blender. Here it is. Nope, that one has not been opened yet. Do I have one? I know I have one over here that's open. Hold on. But birds want to be with you all the time, and it's very stressful and miserable for them when they're not. Unless you just want a cage big enough to have a bird to where it has a buddy to bond to. But most of the birds will bond to their human, and it's stressful for them. Like when they're in nature, they would be with their mom mate all the time. So if they're not with you a lot, it's not a happy life for them. So that would be my only thing is make sure you have time. But if you have time and noise is the issue, parrotlets. If you can find a parrotlet, they are not that noisy, not compared to a cockatiel. Hold on, I need a new soft tool. The cockatiels female cockatiels are not nearly, mine at least never were, not nearly, all birds get noisy, but the males, oh my gosh, and it's fun, they talk and they sing and it's adorable, but oh, when they are not with you all the time, can they scream? But parrotlets were cool. If you've got the time for them, parrotlets would be the one I would say for an apartment look into, because they talk a lot. Like Nugget is a talker. My gosh, that little bird, he just never shuts up. But his voice is quiet. It's not that like loud, you could hear it down the street like a cockatiel or macaw, even worse. Paul said, are butterflies appropriate as a pet? I don't think they live that long. I don't actually know. Hold on, I'm dropping stuff. I don't actually know that much about them, so I definitely couldn't say there. Anne said, I can hear them loud. I'll be glad when I finish this group photo, but at least I'm learning a lot with it. That's a good thing, right? Oh, that's the best. You can't ask for more than that. Hi, Anissa's Kitchen from Pakistan. What time is it over there? See, I don't even know if it's late or early for you. Karina said, maybe just say Mexican walking fish instead of I can't say it, even though they're not fish. And I've never heard them referred to as that. I didn't know that was a thing. So, yeah, So here's the powder blender. I'm going to do my first layer of blending this out. I'll do the legs after. Remember, with powder blender, it works best on sanded paper. You don't, this pastel matte, by the way, not sanded paper. I've had people ask that. Actual sanded paper. So I like the Luxe Archival because it's the only sanded paper available that is acid free front and back, which is an issue because it's been making some stories. But anyway, stories I'm not comfortable using in my artwork. Let's say that. So with this is the Luxe Archival. It is acid free. It is on front and back, completely archival, and it's non-absorbent, and that's what you need when you're working with powder blender. So let's say you were trying pastel matte or just any other kind of paper. If you go to blend, it's not going to blend like this. It'll kind of smudge, but not well. So it needs to be sanded paper. Your only other option, which is kind of a pain in the butt to do, so I have the stuff to do it and I don't do it. You could take a hot press like watercolor paper and airbrush gesso over it a couple of times, a few layers of gesso, that will work. So gessoed paper will work, but not gessoed canvas, not the same. Like it's weird. There's just rules. Gessoed paper or ideally, sanded paper is easier, but it needs to be that. And then the other thing is you want to use a pencil that is oil-based. My favorite, if I'm going to use powder blender, I'm just going to use the Polychromos. And I know that Derwent Lightfast is listed as being an oil-based pencil. It's got a higher wax content. It doesn't blend as well as Polychromos, so I save my God, they're getting louder. I think they're trying to talk over me. I save my wax-based pencils, or higher wax content pencils, I should say, like Caran d'Ache Luminance or my Derwent Lightfast. That's for final layers that I don't need to blend out, but where I want it to blend like this, Polychromos, sanded paper, and then, of course, my powder blender. Paul said, you're worldwide. I know. Isn't that weird to think? Like, I used to teach in person, which was cool, and I loved teaching in person, but it's really cool to be able to reach people all around the world. Like, I love that. Like, it's a really cool time in history to be an artist, that's for sure. Gypsy Heart said, I told her you said she was awesome, and she responded with, I know. Oh, dear God, help me now. When she hits teens, that confidence. That is awesome. Oh, my gosh. Anne said, my cockatiel Fred was mental when he was loud, but he had Frida yellow white one, and they chattered. The chatter was crazy. Oh, Frida was more quiet though. Missed them both. They really are cool birds. Loud, but very cool birds. Starving Artist Collector said, I had a silver crested cockatoo that just screamed all the time. Did us a favor when he escaped. Yeah, the cockatoos are the worst, and cockatiels are a type of cockatoo. So what happens with them? They're over the top clingy, obsessively so with their bond mate. And if you get them as a pet, you're now their bond mate. They'll pluck out all their feathers from stress of just not being able to be with you. It can be some of them just don't handle it well. They want to be with you all the time. And so when they can't be with you all the time, what do? They scream. So it's almost like I can't be mad because I get it. Like I knew this going into getting, having a cockatiel, but also, oh, please stop screaming. Oh, it's a plane out there. What is that sound? Gypsy Heart said, I would love to have birds, but I know little about their care, and my lifestyle may not be suitable, so I just admire them from afar. So I love when you post pictures and share their stories. It's bad. One of the main reasons I don't post pictures often enough. We have a Roomba, so that floor gets cleaned every night. There is always, if you have birds, they are so messy. No matter what, there is seed everywhere. Seed, bird poop. We are constantly cleaning that up. And I swear it's hard to take photos because I'm like, if that shows in the photo, people are going to think I'm like the dirtiest person. I'm not. I'm like obsessively not. Birds are messy. And there is always seed on the floor, and Nugget poops pretty much nonstop. So we keep changing the cover on there's a futon in the room where they are. If I don't take the photo instantly, he's already pooped, and that's now in the photo. I'm like, it would just look like I'm dirty all the time. Like, it's so hard to get photos. Sushi's messy, but the smaller birds go to the bathroom more often, so you're just it's a constant cleaning up. The smaller the bird, the faster, I guess, the metabolism. So Sushi's not as much, but man, Nugget. Anne said, I had a rump parrot too. He was quiet as he got older, but when younger, he had mimicked the doorbells. It is so funny how many of them are, oh man, the things that they'll mimic. Nugget's probably the biggest, well, Sushi mimicking chicken. I cannot believe the Indian ringneck learned to perfectly mimic the annoying noise the chicken makes. Not the cute stuff Chicken does. No, no. The annoying, obnoxious, I'm having a tantrum scream is what, like, how of all, I guess you heard it enough. But anyway, I'm going to do a couple more layers before I spray this. So yeah, the things that they mimic though, Nugget, Matt started teaching him that, the baby shark, but in the baby bird. So Nugget will sit there doing baby bird, do, 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 do. But his comes out more like baby bird, do, 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 do. Like he does this weird, almost demonic sounding baby bird. And he'll also do baby bird in this deep guttural. It is the weirdest, because he's this little tiny high-pitched voice. But for some reason, when he says baby bird, it comes out baby bird. You're like, what is that? He's funny. That bird can mimic so much. I didn't realize when we got him that parrotlets were that. I don't know if the females do, but man, Nugget can mimic. He mimics a lot. It's hilarious. Chicken does his big chicken, where you say, "Are you a big chicken?" and he holds his wings out and does this high pitch, big chicken, big chicken. Nugget mimics that too, which is adorable. He doesn't hold his wings all the way up. He just kind of puts his shoulders up when Nugget mimics. And he's just started doing that from watching Chicken, which is funny. Let's see. Gypsy Heart said, "LOL, I feel you. I have 3 kids. I get the background mess. I get that background mess struggle. Thankfully, they're older now, so the house isn't as chaotic, but still, struggle is real." Yeah, absolutely. Natalie was laughing. She said, "My boy Greyhound just tricked our girl off the bed so he could watch this stream with me." Let's see. Jolie said, "We used to have budgies when I was young. Couldn't have them now. I have 2 cats. Love them though." Yeah, we have to keep the birds. They have to be in a separate room. Like we call it the chicken room. That they're in, because it's Matt's computer room, and then the birds are all in there, and all the stands for them to be out and flying around and stuff. That's all in that room. But we can't, dogs. Gibson, I don't think would be a problem. Wade, the bad cow, oh, he wants those birds. So yeah, that door stays closed. He is not allowed in there at all. Which in a normal, like if it wasn't also my husband's computer room, that wouldn't work. They wouldn't get enough attention. So it works out really well though. I always said I wanted another, either a sulfur crested or a lesser sulfur crested. Like I wanted a cockatoo. And that's what I thought, like as an adult, that I would have. That would be, because I don't have kids. I'm like, that will be my baby, is a bird, because I'm a crazy person. And then I realized, I'm like, I can't have it around all the art supplies, and it can't be with me all the time. Like, it's not fair to the bird. No, so I never went that route. Plus, I ended up, as I got older, I'm glad I never got one, because as I got older, I got so weird about things being clean all the time and not, chewed up like it would have happened with a bigger bird. Clark Finder said, "It never fails. I swear our son Conyer watches the robot leave his area and then slings food as if that will get the robot to come back to him. The struggle is real." We read it every night. Matt covers the birds, puts them on the bed, and then runs the Roomba. And you would never know that. When you walk in, seeds sticking to the bottom of your feet, you're like, Roomba ran last night. How? The birds have only been awake for 2 hours. Why does it look like this in here? It's so bad. Paul said, "Is that the same bird who can sing the Game of Thrones thing?" Yeah, Chicken's the one who sings Game of Thrones. He messes up the ending, which I think is hilarious, because so did the writers. George said, "I could never have a pet bird. I don't like high-pitched noises or sudden loud noises. Too alarming for me." Oh yeah, they're not for you then. Definitely not. Salmon said, "The closest I had to an experience with a bird is a pet parrot owned by relatives. They taught him all the curse words in our language. It was hilarious." Karina said, "Don't worry about your bird poop seed. It's easy to see you pedantically clean. Anyone who has birds knows how messy they are." Yeah. Anne said, "I got so much in common with birds, then LOL, my cat would go mad if I had birds again." It's definitely good to know what will fit in your lifestyle, because I'm going to have to put this up. I need to rest my hand here. I'm glad, though, to see people like being aware of, that doesn't fit my lifestyle, instead of just running out and getting them because they're cute. Like, I really need to do a video on, like a full thing, because I share my red-eyed tree frogs all the time. I need to do a full video and let people know what they're getting into if they get those. Because they have, all the parasite issues, the health stuff. Like, red-eyed tree frogs are really, For any of you reef keepers, they're like, combine a Moorish idol and a powder brown tang, the difficulty, and there's your red-eye tree frog. So, they are quite the challenge. And it's frustrating because people go and get them and then they'll post in the group, I just got this today. How do I take care of it? Why didn't you do the research before you, like, why do people do that? It's just infuriating to me. But I guess it goes back to the whole, I need to care less. Paul said, I haven't noticed, but wow, that blended it so nicely. Yeah, this stuff is, it's incredible. And it's fast. I mean, I'm mostly just chatting, but look, I mean, when I go to fill in an area, can you imagine how long that would take me to do with OMS? It makes the colored pencils behave more like pastels without the absolute mess that I can't stand with pastels. I love the look of pastels, but they're just too chalky, too messy. They kind of freak me out because I've got issues apparently. So yeah, this is really nice to work in. So this is going to be my base, and then all the detail goes on top of him. He's not going to stay this wow orange. Like, this is just a base that all the pinks, he'll fit in with the rest of the piece eventually. Okay, I'm going to let that go. Let's go ahead and block in the color on the legs. Gypsy Heart said, that's us with wanting a dog. We had researched and picked out a few breeds, but in the end, I know us, we're not as active out and about for them, and neither are the kids, so we wait. It's a good choice. Simon said, I really want you to try the Caran d'Ache pastel pencils. They're so creamy and wet feeling. Really? The pastels? But then again, I thought I wasn't going to like pan pastels either, and I love them. So maybe I should get a small set and try them. And then curse you when I hate them. How's that? Yeah, dogs, it's not that I'd say they're not that hard, but they kind of are. I mean, they're a huge responsibility. Much of the day is around, you know, when is it time to feed them? When is it time? You got to go clean up after them. Got to all the stuff. What's the smallest set, Salmon, of the Caran d'Ache pastels, and how much do they cost? Because I'm a little bit interested. Vilma said, I had a relative that had two parrots and taught one to shout attention and the other to say, go to hell. He was also in the armed forces. That's hilarious. Julie said, one of my cats is a 3-year-old calico and I'm constantly rescuing my slow worms and birds. I think even if I had birds in another room, she would figure out how to turn the handle. Oh yeah, birds are not for you. Oh, wow. Thank you, Karina, for the super chat. Oh, my gosh. Aw, I'm going to cry. That's so, yay. Thank you. I always get all choked up when that's just, thank you. Anne said, I don't think my 1-year-old cat would like something new in the house. She's already obsessed with birds, and her favorite are magpies. She doesn't get them, though. Well, good for the cat, or good. I'm glad for the magpies she doesn't get them. Clark Finer said, I just grabbed the Fellow pastel pencils. Jason Morgan highly recommends them. I can't wait to try them. Are those the same as the Caran d'Ache or no? I've never looked into any of the pastels because I'm not, like, they freak me out, but Paul said, I hate when my toe hits the grocery cart. That is the most random, I mean, me too, I guess. Random. Let's see. Okay. Paying attention. I need a pale purple. Actually, I think I'll go with this purple and then I'll just put white over it to lighten it up. A lot of this is going to need to be purple. Kind of a light purple. Maybe being warmer has them talking more. Like, they went through a phase where they really weren't the dart frogs were not that talkative. And then all of a sudden, the last few days, they have been like non-stop, which I love, so I'm not complaining. But I was just like trying to figure out what makes them sometimes way more than others. Karina said, love your work, you deserve it. Thank you so much. Aw. Tom said, my family has a bird and I really want to pet him, but he keeps trying to peck me whenever I try to. Can you give me some advice? Yeah, leave him alone. He's not your bird. And that's not me being mean. Birds generally bond to one person. Most birds don't want to hang out with everybody, and most birds don't want to be pet. Some birds like to have their head scratched by their owner, not strangers. It is rare that a bird will there's certain types of birds that'll kind of tolerate it. Not normally. Usually with birds like chicken, when somebody comes over, chicken will go sit on them and talk to them and whistle and flirt. Oh, that bird flirts. I mean, he just loses it, but you're not going to pet him. He will nail you. He'll nail me if I can, but even it's kind of like a cat that's like rolls over, rub my belly, bite. That's what chicken does. But birds, if it's not your bird, they'll usually bond to one person. Now, chicken, well, I say chicken nugget and sushi. Chicken thinks he's mine, but he's supposed to be my husband's. Sushi and nugget are both definitely my husband's birds. We made sure, like, I did not handle them. I wanted them to definitely bond to him, not to me, because chicken bonded to me on accident. So, when I go in there, though, Nugget will come hang out with me, and he wants to play the peekaboo game, and I've developed, like, that kind of a relationship with him. But if I go to pick that bird up, he bolts. Sushi will come and fly. Sushi likes to eat my phone and my shoes. But Sushi will come mess with me, but he does not want me petting him. I am not his bond mate. You don't, with birds, it's not like a dog where you go to somebody's house and you just start petting them. That's not how it really works with birds. So I would say talk to him. You can offer him treats. You can offer, you can try if you spend a lot of time in the house where you want to have that kind of a relationship with the bird. That sounds weird, have a relationship with the bird, but that's essentially what it is. You have to build trust with that bird with time, and giving it treats and being patient works. But you're never just going to walk up and start petting somebody's bird. Like, okay, some people can, because I'm used to handling birds, so I think I catch them off guard because they don't expect me to just walk up to them the way I can. But most people, you're not just going to walk up to a bird and start petting them. It's not a dog. Leave the bird alone. Stand there and talk to it. Give it treats. Otherwise, leave them alone. Let's see. Where were we? Someone said, maybe get the white and black pastel pencils open stock. That's not a bad idea. Why didn't I think of that? Because I'm always telling people, just get black and white to try it. Don't want you to waste any money unnecessarily. Just want to make sure you don't miss out on it. I might. That's a good idea. Clark Finer said, I believe they are. He has a great video comparing the pastel pencils, which led me to choose the Stabilo Carb Othello. Stabilo Carb. I can't say words. You're not here to. You're not going to learn grammar or pronunciation from me. Anne said, I'd have to start a picture with the Prismacolor pencils. I haven't even used them yet, so been into graphite, chalk, and charcoal. Starving Artist Collective said, Derwent has these 12 set of pastel. They might send you a tin. I have had theirs. It's the typical, and I'm not saying they're bad. They're pastels. I'm weird. The chalky, dry, messy, they are not like, I have issues. That is a me thing, not a them thing. So, yeah, no. They came, I think they came in a Smart Art box. And I'm too weird about the feel. Like, it really, like, heebie-jeebies freaks me out. Paul said, I think animals behave like those in Secret Life of Pets. I've not seen that. Yeah, see, a lot of people love the Stabilo's Carb, or I can't say the words. So it's not like I'm saying that those are bad products. They're just, I think I will order, next time I place an order for whatever pencils, I'll probably go ahead and order a black and a white and try. I think that is a good idea. But, I'm just too weird about pastels. Then again, I thought I would hate pan pastels, but pan pastels aren't like real pastels. Like, I don't know. Like, they are, but they're not. Oh, Lord, this is a whole mess in there I need to start paying attention to. Someone said, Derwent ones feel like charcoal. The Caran d'Ache ones don't have any gritty feeling, just slightly powdery. They are polar opposites. Do they make a mess, though? Because that was always one of my things with pastels, too. Like, I feel like I just ended with pastel crap. It's just dust everywhere, and I'm weird about things being clean, and there were just so many things I didn't like. But then again, I've been using charcoal pencils lately, and I remembered those being really messy, and they haven't been. So maybe it was just a paper I was using. Paul said, "You're not alone. I'm not really a fan of pastels, but they blend easily, but messy. But I love charcoal. Yeah, I got it, and I love charcoal. Love charcoal. So yeah, okay. Let's see. Let's start getting some of these shadows in here. Although, let's blend this up. I don't want to lose my shape because I don't have to redraw everything back out, but I do need to start blending into some of this and just making a muddy mess. This is just going to be a fuzzy, muddy octopus mess. We'll be working on the detail like we did with the sea turtle. We'll do that later, next week. Let's see, that actually can be darker in here. This can have more magenta. Paul said, and sticky too, because I blend them with fingers too. Even when I wash my hands, it leaves some residue. Really? With those pastel ones you were talking about? Someone said they don't leave behind a powdery mess if you lay the paper flat on it. See, I can't work flat because of my back and my neck. I can't look down. So, yeah. Making sure all the pigment's on the paper is smudging. And yeah, I have to work upright. So that would definitely be a bit of an issue. Like, it's one of the things that makes watercolor a challenge for me, because a lot of the watercolor effects that I like would work better if I was flat, but my neck and my back, like, I can't. So that sucks. I'm like a 95-year-old lady in a not 95-year-old body. Really, a lot of this I can just go over it with the purple. It always makes me happy to hear them chirping this much too, because I hardly ever see them. Well, there's so many plants in there. It's a bioactive vivarium. So lots of plants, lots of isopods, lots of all stuff in there. I don't see them that often. Oh, I think I just saw someone fly by. But normally, like, if I walk over there, they'll hide. So it's like, if I hear them, I know they're alive and doing well. How hot is it there? Right now it is 97 degrees. It is hot today. Karina said, I'm getting used to pastels, but I get what you mean. I hate the chalky feeling. I have a thing about some fabrics too. It makes my skin feel icky and I can't touch them. Yeah, the same thing. So it sounds like I'm in good company with my weirdness. Really, I can just make all of this kind of a medium purple, and I can put lights and darks on top. It's just that I'm going to lose some of these lines doing it this way, but I still think it would be faster. So we'll go for it. This is actually part of the front of the octopus. We'll pull some oranges in there. Throwing stuff on the floor again. This is how I lose everything. Karina said, I'm getting used to pastels, but I get... Oh, I read that already. Nick said a balmy 72. Well, you do live at the North Pole, so... Shayna said, I love pastels because it makes me feel I've had such an artsy day, and all I drew was a stick woman. I also have the same issue with my neck and back when I've been down for too long. That's funny. I know what you're talking about, because I feel like that with charcoal, because it's like you get it done so fast, like few strokes, done. So I definitely get what you mean there. Julie said, I use pastel pencils on pastel mat, which is great. Some dust, however, I get more dust. More dust from charcoal on MeTens. Really? Huh? Because I can handle the dust on the charcoal MeTens. So maybe I'm gonna have to get the white and the black, like suggested, and try those out. And I have pastel mat here too, so I can try that. Someone said, I think there won't be any mess because the pencils are so buttery and sticky to the paper, but you have to be careful with the strokes and push it in too much. You've got me interested. See, okay, so here's the other problem. I work in so many mediums already. People are like, when are you going to do watercolor again? I don't know. There's so many to do. Inktense I haven't done in a while. Like, there's so many mediums. So I'm like, do I really want to start on another medium? Okay. What am I doing? Not paying attention, that's for sure. Yeah, there's so many things where I'm like, I haven't done a lesson in this in a while. I want to update my website with a new lesson, so I'll have like the coming soon thing. There's just so many. Oh, good. Luckily, I have enough spray on here that the circles for his little suction cup guys are not blending out from the graphite. I wasn't sure if I had enough spray on there if those would smudge or not, but they're not, so I'm not going to have to redraw anything, which makes my life a bit easier. Wow, that graphite's really staying put well. Nice. You can still see all the little circles. Thinking one more layer. I'm not going to bother spraying this until after. I'll get one more layer in here, and that should wrap us up for today. Julie said, I use pastel. Oh, wait, I read that already. Yeah, okay. I'm actually caught up on comments. That's, wow. I can't find my straw. Clarify now, I said, check out Jason's video comparing them because he shared a lot about how little fall off he got from which ones. It was a great pastel pencil comparison. I'll message you the link. Yeah, do. And I'm on his Patreon, so I'm sure I can watch more stuff there. I just never do because I always say I'm lazy. I just mostly work nonstop. Oh, my eye itches. Okay, let's see. Let's start getting some of these other values in here. Look how well that shows up. Like, I barely have to even push. It just shows up so well. I really thought I wouldn't, like when I originally heard with working with Powder Blender that you were supposed to use sanded paper, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to like that. Too rough for me. Oh my gosh, I love it. Once you get the hang of it, it's wonderful. Okay, where are we? I need to just pick one spot and focus on it. I'm too, like every time I come over here and check the chat and then I go back, I'm like, I'm too all over the place. So focus, Lisa. We can do this. Moody Rome says, can your P.O. box address accept packages? I wanted to send you something as a thank you, so I thought I would check before. Oh, thank you. Yes, it can. Just let me know before because I almost never go to it. It's like an hour away. I need to transfer it up since we moved, but they keep renewing. I keep forgetting. Sorry, really itchy eye. It's not my nose this time. I probably just have a smudge now of pencil on my face, but they keep renewing it and I keep forgetting to like come transfer it up here. So yeah, it's far away. I just need to know before so I can go down there. I almost never check it. I'm bad. Paul said, anyway, what have you been watching lately? So we tried 3 movies on Monday night. And we failed all of them. So I had asked my husband about, was it Les Miserables, Les Miserables, whatever. It's a musical. I asked my husband about it because I always remember all of the little goth kids in high school loved it. And I was like, why was that such a goth thing? Like, why did you like it? And he goes, you've seen it. I said, no, I haven't. He goes, yes, you have. Insisted I saw it. I'm like, I didn't. So we tried to watch it the other night. Oops, hit the thing. Tried to watch it the other night, and then we only got maybe 10 minutes in, and because I was asking him questions about it, he goes, you know what, I need to turn this off because you're going to hate me by the time this is over. He goes, there's nothing happy about this movie. Everything is sad. Everything ends sad. There is nothing happy, and knowing me, because I like my happy endings, he goes, you're going to hate this. We just need to turn this off. You are not going to enjoy this. I'm like, why did we start? We'd been planning on watching it. So I'm like, all right, good, which was good because I was actually kind of bored with the too much musical for me. Although, was it Hugh Jackman? Dear God, that man can sing. So moving on, we decided, we turned that off and we're like, let's try, I really wanted to watch Luca, the cartoon. I think it's Pixar. I just thought the animation was adorable. I wanted to watch that one. And it started off strong. It started off so cute and the little sheep fish and it was adorable. And then it just like really quickly seemed a little bit too little kid stuff. Like, you know how sometimes those movies, they have like adult humor and they entertain adults even though they were meant for kids? This one, we only got, like, once he started going on land with his buddy, it was like, this is just kind of like too much kid humor, too much like I just wasn't loving it. So like, okay, let's try, was it Raya and the Last Dragon or whatever that was? Again, started out strong, and as soon as that dragon was introduced, it was like, really? Huh. That dragon is stupid. I'm sorry. I don't know if it ever got better, because I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to bed. It was like 2:30 in the morning at this point, and I'm like, I think we're just done. Me and my husband were just like, it started out, it was cute, it had things I liked, the characters seemed cool, and then the dragon was just like, that dragon is annoying. So I don't know. I don't know if that actually ends up the dragon. I know she's supposed to be funny. I was just like, huh. All right then. So yeah, we tried those 3, but we're not really watching anything. There's nothing out right now. I mean, we finished Loki. I liked that. Well, I liked the last few episodes. The first ones I hated, although it makes sense now why. Like, I get it. But it was kind of like the Scarlet Witch one, or the WandaVision. It started out really like, okay, can we move on from the stupidness and get to the actual story? So I felt Loki really followed that same pattern where it started off meh and ended up amazing. Or good. I liked it well enough. We did go watch the movie Old, the M. Night Shyamalan, whatever his name is. I liked a lot about it, but dear God, there's a lot of holes in that movie. Like, there's so many things you're like, wouldn't they be getting super sunburned almost instantly then? Like, there are a few things where you're like, there's some major holes. Also, like, there's this whole thing. I don't want to give anything away for people, so I can't really say much. But there were some things where you're like, that is really dumb. Like, really dumb. So I'm not going to say more just because I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. But the sunburn one was one. When you watch it now, you'll be like, huh. So, but there were a lot of holes in that. But it was one of those, like, those dilemmas, those moral dilemmas of right and wrong. You're like, I can't say anything. I can't say anything without giving stuff away. So I'm not going to say any more than that. But I like the moral dilemma because all of his movies have like that sort of thing into it. I did like the idea. I thought it was a great idea. I enjoyed it. But, oh my God, so many holes. But again, enjoyable mostly, but holes. So it was worth seeing. I'll say that. So yeah, that we saw that on Monday. And yeah, that's about it. We haven't, like, I don't know of any shows coming out or anything right now, which thank God, I just don't have time. Every time that we find something, Matt's like, okay, let's watch this. So his schedule makes it bad because he works 9 p.m. till 7 a.m. And so even on his days off, he has to stay with those hours. And it's just, our schedules make it hard. So if we watch something, it ends up being after midnight on his days off even. Just because, by the time the birds go to bed and all that. So it's just, and by the time I'm done working, it makes it very, very hard, like late. And I end up losing sleep when we get like hooked on a show. I think the last one we watched that I really liked was Sherlock. I was hooked on that. Like that was a fun show. Let's see. Where are we? Ann said, I'm still yet to get the brush and pencil titanium stuff. We'll get them though. You'll love it. It's awesome. Shayna said, how do you go about drawing your turtle as there are so many shapes that require different shading? I really want to draw one, but the details are intimidating. So honestly, the details in mine are not that clean. It's almost like when I get into here, I'm kind of crisscrossing back and forth and getting the general gist of it. I almost think of it like a faux finish. Like if you remember back in the 90s when everyone was doing faux finish brick, faux finish whatever, stonework on their walls. Like that was really popular on indoor like home painting decor. I know, because I used to get hired to go do that in people's homes. As they were like, it's a mural. That's not a mural. But whatever. So it's kind of that where I'm making it look wrinkly, but if you look close, it's just kind of little lines. Like it's not super defined. It's not hyper realistic by any means. Like when you look up close, you're like, oh yeah, that's definitely, it's more sketchy going with the detail there. Like I need to make sure the lines are going the right direction, the right width, all of that. But it's not like, okay, there's 20 lines going this direction, 15 going, I'm not that precise, if that makes sense. You just need to get the faux finish type feel of it, I guess. Dee said, loving the glow in this picture. Thank you. Paul said, yes, I have watched Luca too. Did it get better? Did you like it? Because it was too little kid for me. At least I didn't give it that long of a chance. I love the little kid up at the beginning. I love the little fish, the sheep fish. Oh my gosh, I was laughing. Thought that was adorable. but then it just, I don't know, it lost me. Clark Fainert said, yes, the dragon was horrible. Okay, good. Glad that's not just me, because it seemed like that could have been a great movie, and that dragon just irritated me too much. Even the animation, the way it looked, I was so unimpressed. Karina said, I'm liking the red-orange mixed octopus color. So those colors, red, orange, magenta, those always go really well together. If you're ever like, I want to draw a flower, what colors go magentas and oranges especially. They always look so good. Or like coral, I do that a lot too. Anne said, I'm waiting to watch The Conjuring 3. That was a scary movie, right? I'm not good with scary movies. Paul said, yes, I cried watching Old. I think it's best, I think it's his best so far after so many misses. I don't know. I liked Signs, and I liked The Village. I know a lot of people hated The Village. My husband hated The Village. I liked it. I really liked it. I didn't see that coming, and I liked it. I liked the characters. I was a fan. My husband, not so much. But I know he did that water one. I forget what it was called, but I didn't see it. My husband said it was painfully bad, like really, really bad. But then again, he didn't like The Village. Maybe I'd like it. I don't know. Probably not. Actually, I think I started trying to watch whatever the water one was and made it like 15 minutes and was like, I'm bored. Where are we? How do I like The Mandalorian? So I didn't watch it because I'm not into Star Wars. Like I've never liked that world. I just don't care. My husband watched it and liked it. Baby Yoda was cute. Oh, Joseph's not here to get mad at me for saying Baby Yoda. But I didn't like. I'd see parts where it was like, oh, that's really cute when I walked by, but I never watched it because, like I said, I'm not a Star Wars fan. I know. I just got a bunch of thumbs downs. Shada said, oh, my 100% agree with Luca. I love Disney mainly for their adult humor, but Luca never had any of that. Okay, so it didn't get better, which was a first, literally aimed at around 6-year-olds. Yeah, and I can respect that it's for kids and that kids would enjoy that. I'm fine with that, but usually they manage to make adults like it too. Like, I've always loved Disney movies. I didn't. Well, in that one, yeah, Luca was Disney and Raya the Last Dragon was Pixar? Was that what it was? I know one was one. I think I had that backwards. Yeah, the guy who played Moriarty, that was his name, on Sherlock was outstanding. I hated him at first because I was like, he's so overacting, and then the more he went, I'm like, that works how that role, and the way he kept switching his accent was all over the board, and it was like that, it worked for this, like, yes. My favorite, though, was his brother. What was his brother's name? His older brother. Oh, my brain is like shutting down now. I haven't seen it. I don't remember names. Crap. Oh, it's like on the tip of my tongue. His brother was I loved his brother. And then, of course, the guy who played... I can never think of his name, the Sherlock Holmes guy. He is just excellent in everything anyway, so... where are we... Oh no, Natalie's been waiting on the brush and pencil complete kit. Been on back order with Australian distributor for months. Ugh, ordered on the 28th. They keep telling me at the end of the month. Ugh, I'm sorry. Lady in the Water, that was the one. Karina said, I'll have to remember that color combination when I do my next piece of art. Didn't mind the Village movie. Nick said, I'll do it for him. It's Grogu, not Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda. Soul was a better movie for me. I don't know. I don't think I saw that. Mycroft. Yes, that was his name. I loved him. Like, he was just so... that show was fun. That's a show I can watch. Like, we finished the whole series, and I can definitely watch it all over again, and I think I would enjoy it just as much. Like, the acting was great. The stories were... I really, really liked it. Let's see... Simon said, my favorite film, Disney film, is Inside Out. Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah. And I don't think I've seen that one. Krita said, I love scary movies, but only ghostly things that could never happen. Not serial killer, though. That stuff freaks me out. Sherlock, Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah. And I'm probably not even saying it right. I'm just bad with names. Well, you guys know I mispronounce all your names. Okay, we are at 3:04. Let me blend this out. We will spray it and continue on with the octopus next week. Next week we get to start, we'll do some more layers on the octopus, and then we get to start doing the details. So that will be, I don't know if we'll finish the octopus next week. Right now he's just kind of fuzzy looking, out of focus, but it's a good base. I'm not unhappy with where we're leaving this today. So with the spray, I'll just give you guys a quick tip. I already shook the can up really well before, but you do want to make sure it's shaken up really well. Yeah, I did like Wally. I feel like our world is going that direction. I want to make sure any chunks I'm going to pick out from when I used this last week. I also, in this case, because I didn't check it earlier, I'm going to spray it on another piece of paper and make sure it doesn't spit all over, because sometimes you'll do this and it just spits. I want to find that out on a separate piece of paper before my artwork, and I didn't check this or use it at all today, so may as well just check. And when I spray it, I'm just pushing hard enough on the little button to make just to where it starts spraying out. Don't like push all the way so it's like splatters everywhere. I want to keep it nice and light, and that helps reduce a lot of the spitting. So see, I'm just barely any pressure, and that's how I've gotten the best results with using this. Because if you push too hard, you'll get these heavy droplets, and you can go back and blend them out. It's not a big deal, but I'd rather not have to spend that time doing that if I don't have to. So I've found if I just barely, like I've got a couple droplets here that I'll have to blend, but if I just barely push on that, I get the best results. If it clogs, let's say it had been clogged, I would have just found out on this piece of paper before I hit my artwork. So if you can prevent problems before they start, that's ideal. But if it was clogged, all I would do is pull this cap off. I think mine has teeth marks on it because I'm bad about that and I use my teeth to pull it out. But I soak it in hot water, let it dry, then that will unclog it. So a couple tips for you there. Yeah, Marie said, I hate pronouncing stuff too. Let's see. Up, did I see up? That sounds familiar. I don't remember. Let's see. Julie said, thanks for the charcoal tips. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you. And make sure you check out Nick and Joseph's channel. I don't think Nick's here, or Joseph's here today, but either way, he will be here. Hopefully is he live streaming Monday? Hopefully he is. He's got an art channel. He's been painting some deer, so that link is in the video description. Nick's also got an art channel here, so definitely subscribe to them. Tell them thank you, because they do so much work for me. Moderating our groups and then here, and it's just, they do so much work. They need a raise or to be paid something at all. Maybe that's where our super chat should go. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we will be back on Wednesday. We're going to be back drawing coral on the digital painting. I'm thinking I may finish the mushrooms that we started this week. I may go ahead and finish those on my own because, I mean, it's just repetitive, so we can move on to the next coral because they don't need much work anyway, so I may do that. Anyway, thank you guys, and I'll see you. Well, I'll be posting on MeWe, so follow me over there if you're not already. Actually, I took a good picture of Glitch was still awake when I got up today, so I got a cute picture of her. So anyway, follow me over there, and I will see you guys on, well, I see you Wednesday. I do need to edit a video though. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.